Hi guys! Today we will talk about determining various social, moral, and economic issues discussed in text listened to. But before we delve into the main discussion, let us define the word issue. The term issue can have various meanings depending on the context, but generally, it refers to a problem or a matter of concern that is subject to discussion, debate, or dispute. An issue is an important problem or topic that people in the society argue about or discuss since it negatively affects many people in the society. It could be a social, moral, or economic issue. Now, there are a lot of issues in our society, but we can trickle it down to the three crucial issues that we face today as a society. We have the social, moral, and economic issues. Let us talk about the first one. Social issue. A social issue is a problem or matter that has an impact on society and individuals within that society. These issues are often topics of debate and discussion, and they can have far-reaching effects on the well-being of communities, groups, or even entire populations. Social issues can manifest in various forms and may include concerns related to the following: equality and justice. Issues related to discrimination, inequality, and social justice. This can encompass matters such as racial inequality, gender discrimination, LGBTQ+ rights, and economic disparities. Next is healthcare. Access to healthcare services, affordability of medical treatment, and public health concerns are significant social issues. Access to essential healthcare can impact the overall well-being of a society. Next we have education. Access to quality education, educational inequality, and issues within the education system can affect individuals and communities. This includes disparities in educational opportunities based on socioeconomic status or geographic location. We also have poverty and economic inequality. Poverty is a pervasive social issue, and economic inequality can lead to disparities in living standards, opportunities, and access to resources. We have mental health. Stigmatization of mental health issues, access to mental health services, and the overall mental well-being of individuals are important aspects of social concern. Drug addiction or the use of prohibited drugs can cause the drug user to neglect his responsibility towards his family, children, career, education, and health. Thus, it is a social problem that can adversely affect not only the lives of the drug addicts, but also their families and the entire community. Violence and crime. Addressing issues related to crime rates, domestic violence, gun violence, and other forms of aggression is essential for building safer communities. Crime is a social issue and at the same time a moral issue since it affects the safety and security of citizens and it is against the values and beliefs of the people. It is prohibited by the law as it is harmful or offensive to the people or the society. These are just a few examples, and social issues can be interconnected and complex. They often require a multifaceted approach involving collaboration between individuals, communities, governments, and non-governmental organizations to bring about positive change. Public awareness, advocacy, and policy changes are often key components of addressing social issues. Now let us talk about the second issue. Moral issue. Moral issues are situations or actions that do not conform to the shared norms and values, culture, and beliefs, distinguished by a certain community or social setting. It is a matter that involves questions of right and wrong, good and bad, or ethical and unethical behavior. These issues often revolve around fundamental principles of morality and may invoke ethical dilemmas for individuals or society as a whole. Moral issues are subjective and can vary based on cultural, religious, philosophical, and individual perspectives. Here are some examples of moral issues. Euthanasia. The question of whether assisted suicide or euthanasia is morally acceptable, particularly in cases of terminal illness and extreme suffering. Capital punishment. The morality of imposing the death penalty as a form of punishment for certain crimes. Abortion. The moral debate over the termination of pregnancies, considering factors such as a woman's right to choose, fetal rights, and the sanctity of life. Animal rights. The ethical treatment of animals and the moral implications of using them for food, research, or entertainment. Privacy and surveillance. The moral implications of invasive surveillance practices, data collection, and the balance between security and individual privacy. Stealing is an act of taking away someone else's possession without permission. It is morally and illegally wrong as it is against the ethical standard of the society, and it also violates the law of the land. We also have corruption. Corruption is a criminal offense that constitutes the illegal use of public power to gain private interest. This may be done by a person, a group of people, or an organization entrusted with authority. Economic issues are concerns or challenges related to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services within a society. These issues can have significant impacts on individuals, businesses, and governments. Economic problems can arise from various factors, including resource scarcity, market dynamics, government policies, and global economic conditions. Here are some common economic issues. First is unemployment. Unemployment happens when someone who has the ability to work cannot find a suitable job. Unemployment becomes an economic issue when a large number of population lacks the opportunity to find a job and could therefore not support basic needs. The level of unemployment within a society is a critical economic issue. High unemployment rates can lead to social and economic challenges, including increased poverty and decreased consumer spending. Next is inflation. Inflation rate refers to rise and fall of prices of commodities at a specific time or period. Inflation becomes an issue when there is an abrupt increase of price of basic commodities and services, making people unable to have the capacity to provide for their needs and wants. Excessive inflation erodes the purchasing power of a currency, making goods and services more expensive. On the other hand, deflation, or falling prices, can also pose problems for an economy by discouraging spending. Aside from being a social issue, poverty is also an economic issue, making it a socio-economic issue. Poverty becomes an economic issue when it affects the people's economic activities. It means people can hardly provide for their food, shelter, education, and health. Addressing these issues requires collaborative efforts from governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals. It involves creating policies that promote social justice, ethical behavior, and inclusive economic growth. Public discourse, education, and awareness are crucial in fostering a society that values both economic prosperity and ethical considerations.